Welcome back. What we want to do in this module is still graph parabolas, but now we're going to change the form. Now the equation is going to look like y equals ax squared plus bx plus c, like we're used to seeing with the more terms. The thing we've just noticed is every parabola has some key parts, and the most important part of a parabola is the vertex point, the point that stands alone. And then from on either side of that vertex point are the other points that are buddied up. So it would make sense when we go to set up our t-table that the first point we know is where the vertex point would be located. Well, there's a way to algebraically figure out where the vertex point is going to be located before we even go to the graph paper. And it's using a quick and easy formula. So if you look at your PowerPoint, the formula to find the vertex point is x equals negative b over 2a. Wait a minute, that should sound familiar. Doesn't that sound like part of the song? X equals negative b plus or minus square root b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Correct. It comes from the quadratic formula. So there is, if you use this formula, x equals negative b over 2a, you can find out the x value of the vertex point. And that would be the middle point you put on your t-table. So let's do this. I have an equation, y equals x squared minus 6x plus 8. I know that equation is quadratic. It has an x squared. I don't know where the vertex point would be, and I haven't graphed this equation yet. So the first thing I want to do on paper is find out the location of the vertex point, the point that would be by itself. Well, I know how to find the values of a, b, and c. They're in numerical order, right? A is in front of x squared, b is in front of x, c is the constant. So my b value is negative 6, and my a value is 1. So to find the vertex point, I'm just going to substitute those numbers into this little formula. I'm going to do negative b over 2a. And just like with the quadratic formula, negative b means to make the opposite of your b. So if your b is negative 6, that's going to become positive 6. Then in the denominator, I'm going to do 2 times a. Well, 2 times 1 is 2. And then I'll do my calculation. 6 divided by 2 is 3. So now you know your x value of your vertex point, which means now I know when I make my t-table, x is 3 is going to go in the middle of the t-table, because that value is going to separate the left side from the right side. Now to get the y value, I do what I normally would do. If I know x, to get y, I substitute it into my original equation. My original equation is y equals x squared minus 6x plus 8. So now everywhere there's an x, I'm going to substitute in 3. So I'm going to have y equals 3 squared minus 6 times 3 plus 8. I'm going to follow order of operations. I'm going to square first. 3 squared is 9. I'm going to multiply negative 6 times 3, get negative 18. So now I have 9 minus 18 plus 8, which when I calculate that, I get negative 1. So now I know my t-table, my x value is 3, my y value is negative 1. That's the point, that's the vertex point. It will stand alone. Now from x is 3, I'll count behind 3 values of x and ahead 3 values of x. And that's where I get 2, 1, 0 for x, 4, 5, 6 for x. Because to graph a parabola, I have to be symmetrical. I'm going to go 3 points to the left of the vertex point, 3 points to the right. Once I have all my x values picked, to get my y values, I'm just going to substitute into that same equation. And you could see on the side all the calculations. If you look at my y values, do you see the pattern? 8, 3, 0, negative 1, 0, 3, 8. Remember, 3, negative 1 is the vertex point. That's the point by itself. All the other points are buddied up. And if they're buddied up, that means they have to have the same y values. So that's why when x is 0, y is 8, then x is 6, y is 8. They're going to be buddied up. If your t-table does not look like that, where the y value is buddied up, then you did your calculations incorrectly. So remember, to set up a t-table correctly to graph a parabola, the first thing you want to know is the location of the vertex point. All you have to do is memorize that little formula, x equals negative b over 2a. Once you get the x value, to get the y value, you substitute it into the equation. Once you know where the vertex point is, you pick 3 numbers to the left of x, 3 numbers to the right of that x. And then once you have your x values, you calculate all your y values using the same equation. Okay, I'll see you in the next video where we graph it.